recording.
Oh, what?
It's recording.
This game sucks. It's short.
But not the good kind of short like me. The poopy short.
Yeah. Let's find out. Maybe this is a hated gem. So The Order 1886 was one of the first games I read about that was coming out for the PS4, and it looked gorgeous, it sounded awesome, I was so hyped for this game. It was one of the reasons why I wanted a PS4, was for this game. Well, that's not gonna work. Alright, well, you got a red shirt too? What is this, a stoplight party? Because if it was, you'd be wearing blue. I'm in need of a guy. I'm in need of a guy. I'm in need of a guy. Yeah. So The Order 1886 came out in February of 2015. Now, it was originally supposed to come out in the Christmas season of the previous year, and it got delayed. And that was a big deal because this was one of the big flagship franchises, so we were thinking, that was going to come out on PS4, and why people were deciding PS4 versus Xbox One. At this point, I owned both, but I definitely, had I not had a PS4, was buying one for this game. And it looks gorgeous. It still looks gorgeous. The graphics in this game are amazing. The thing that a lot of people seem to not like is they got mad at the story length. They got mad at some of the... It's basically a cover-based shooter. There's quick-time action sequences. Wow! Quick-time events. Bringing it back. Next thing you know, they're going to bring back Rewind Mike's hair. Oh, man. Look at that handsome devil. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Usually he only goes to town like that on fur burgers. The setting in this game is amazing. It's essentially an alternate reality of the world. Instead, in the 700s or the 800s, a race of beastmen, lichens, rises up and actually takes over dominance of the world and changes the whole course of history. Yeah, they got werewolves in it. Werewolves that just charge you, run away, charge you, run away. Wow, what an exciting mechanic. This is amazing. Oh yeah, and more QuickTime events. Oh yeah, well. The Knights of the Round, they take over, and they destroy the Beastmen, humans take over, and history continues itself. The Knights of the Round discover, I guess, the Holy Grail, which leads to them having the Fountain of Youth, which is water from the Grail, this black water, that extends their life unnaturally. And when a knight dies, a new knight is then knighted as that knight. So this Sir Lancelot that was back in the King Arthur days is not necessarily the same Sir Lancelot that's around in the game. Then humans came out with Lovecraftian steampunk, because everyone loves steampunk. I swear, steampunk is the new box social this generation. Yeah, I know. Box social. In the 80s and 90s. Now, all of that story, that exposition I just gave you, is not in the game. It's sprinkled in the game, but you're just dropped right into essentially what's the beginning of Act 3 of the story, where Galahad is being forcibly drowned, and then you have to escape. And as you're escaping, which, by the way, I'm really getting tired of games, modern games, when you're injured, of making you feel like you're injured. Yes, I understand my character is injured, but come on, just have it be a cutscene or have me control him like normal. I'm really sick and tired of moving the thumbstick and having him go lurching like a zombie. And it's just enough already. I think it would have been a lot better if they just opened it a la Lord of the Rings style, where they said, hey, here's the world, here's what's happening, here's why this order exists, and bam, go. You know, do what you're doing. Because there's really no through line of who are these people, what do they do. You're expected to already know. And maybe if the game had a manual where you could read that, I could give it a pass. But only because I was so hyped for the game and I read the issue of Game Informer that said all this, was I familiar with what was going on. I mean, I wouldn't even know any of this story if I hadn't read the damn article. Who is this person? Like I said, the technology of the day was a little bit different. So I thought that was going to be a lot bigger in the game. Essentially, it's not fully paid off on. So you have these giant airships that are almost like the Hindenburg, but a lot more complicated. You have certain weaponry that's a little bit more just different, scientifically based, but you don't really get the payoff on it that much, and I feel that was a little bit of a missed opportunity. The whole game, though, very predictable, especially once you get past the first major plot point. You kind of know exactly which beat is going to happen. Also, the fact that you know you're going to get betrayed or thrown in jail or something like that. But even then, game length-wise, this is a fine length of a game. That's the number one thing, is this game was well fine. There was no too short and too long, nothing like that. It was a perfect amount of time. The only thing is the ending is very weak. The ending is extremely weak because it's a very, very unresolved ending. And it was clear these guys thought they hit a home run. They were expecting a sequel, and now that the sequel is kind of in jeopardy, it's a horrible ending. I don't know. How are you liking this game? Yeah, sure, it's got the cool lightning gun. It's got the cool fire gun. It's got the cool... This is just... What new is this? There's nothing new in it. There's really not. I sound really reasonable right now. There's nothing new in the genre. There's nothing groundbreaking. It's a cover-based shooter. But everything is so fun. The gameplay, the gunplay is tight and smooth. It's very satisfying. The weapons... Some of the weapons, especially the spread shotgun, the thermite gun, they are just so much fun to kill people with. You have a John Marsden Red Dead Redemption style gunslinger mode, which is also extremely satisfying. But there really isn't that much combat in the game. It's interlaced with combat and then quick time events. And I know a lot of people have a bad rap with quick time events, but I think they even do that in a pretty nice way. The boss battle you have with the elder werewolf lichen thing early in the game was intense. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though it was quick time heavy. And yeah, there are a few times that are a little reminiscent of Resident Evil 4 fighting that commando dude where you just go, but there's one sequence where you have to do a stealth thing, and it's a lot like Manhunt in some regards, and just as frustrating when you get caught, and that leads to the instant deaths. But in the long run, and there's not even multiplayer. Well, how are you supposed to PvP? Mate, got a PvP though. Mate. And I liked it. The werewolves were not paid off on. The whole thing of it was there was just so much non-payoff, where they set up this gorgeous world, but then they don't do much with it. Later in the game, they introduce another creature, but you don't even get to fight it. So it's just, why? The whole game feels like a prologue. A prologue to, I'm sure, a much more well-crafted story, a bigger universe, and much like some of the movies from DC, I don't think they're going to get the payoff. And that makes me sad, because if this game's hated or a gem, I'm saying this is a gem. Are we not going to talk about the story at all, huh? I mean, really, you can guess what happens. Galahad is set up, which you already know because he's in the beginning, but you're the main character, so obviously something's going down. And then his love interest is betraying him. Hot, sexy Indian chick is actually your teammate. And then why Sage Man dies, even though it's made to have him look like he's the villain, and then never resolved. And oh yeah, of course, when you break into Mr. Hastings' place, he of course turns out to be Dracula. And your best friend, who is the brother to your woman you love, turns out to be a werewolf. And yes, the Order guy, who looks suspiciously like Assassin's Creed man, is also going to kill you, but you blow his brains out, and the game ends. Yeah, that's how, that really is the story. You know how I could have surmised it? Dude gets screwed over, more problems, more money, more pros. Yeah, this is good. This is a good game. You deserve to give it a shot. It is so gorgeous to look at. I'm not a graphics junkie, but the game in this is just so well fleshed out. The details are there. The voice acting is spot on. The mythos is intriguing. It's just, there's not enough payoff, but it has enough payoff for me to say it's a gem. Very good game. Order 1886. Doesn't do anything new, doesn't introduce anything new to the genre, but it is a very, very good game. So pick it up and play it. That's your homework. I mean, isn't this game Assassin's Creed? And then it's Uncharted, and then it's Gears of War, and then it's freaking LA Noire? Why do you pick up these notes? They do nothing. I'm just expecting him to go doo-doo and then deliver some bad news. In fact, I need to go tell someone got murdered. Maybe it was you.